him, and all this is part of it because of how he's positioning himself, and this family's all there. I mean, they're getting wealthy in crypto now, and people are still like, crypto's not here to stay, right? They're all pushing the clarity,
which is so weird.
Right, and you got Steve Witkoff, Cantor, not Steve Witkoff. So they're World W Financial. Howard Lutnick, Cantor. Cantor's connected to XXI, 21 Capital, which is this third largest Bitcoin treasury in the world. Right, you got Eric Trump's ABTC, which is climbing up. Trump Media is top 10 in Bitcoin treasuries. So it's, I don't know.
The signal is there, right? Because the US dollar then is falling, and what is going to be brought into its place? Well, haven't they already signaled what that is? That should help people understand. I should be scooping up some Bitcoin.
Well, they just, with the Straits of, that's powerful. The Straits of Hormuz just told us yuan and Bitcoin. They literally just said that. Dre Dalio predicted this, man.
He did. Like the
Mhm.
changing of the world order over to the Chinese.
Yep.
Obviously,
and they've been doing this. Isn't their first rodeo? That's the thing that I keep trying to tell people is like they've been doing this. If you read the changing world order, like it talks about the changes and how many times China has been the main power. They don't care about the United States.
That's so interesting.
Should we go into the charts and some esoteric? Because I know people are going to be upset if we don't go into the esoteric in the charts.
I would love. Let's do that. Share Gonzo's charts.
Yes, do that.
Let me go ahead and add the screen real quick.
And I'll chime in on what's been going on.
Essentially, what Jackie's saying is, Gonzo, you're going to show all the charts, and Jackie's going to tell everyone about your chart.
you guys see it? I have too many tabs open.
Throw it up there.
So it's up there. You guys can see it.
What Jackie's working to do is to help people to put the ley lines across, because people get so caught up in, and I get it. I totally get it. Right. It's like, I'm a Christian. I love Jesus Christ. Right. I love God. But anytime you bring people just panic, you bring up astrology, and they shut down. But guys, they are manipulating you through astrology, guys. They're manipulating you through the stars. Like I won't go too deep into it, but it's like, JP Morgan, the creator of one of the largest banks in the world, is quoted saying, millionaires use charts, billionaires use astrology. Remember, there's somebody winning, somebody losing the markets. You are the exit liquidity. There's someone paying interest and someone earning interest. You have to take all the emotion out of this. Like, you can deny it all day, but they are using this stuff to move the markets. They truly are.
They control people through fear.
Yep.
They do. Yep.
So go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Gonzo. Give a breakdown.
You guys can hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So what JV was talking about with that 72K area, it was basically, and why I've been pretty accurate, is I started kind of adding the momentum oscillators, the stochastic RSI that's in the middle, and then the regular RSI, right? And then what I've really been tracking is just divergences, right? Divergences are bullish, bearish divergences where the price action's going one way, right? Like the price action's going up.
Gonzo, for people that may not know, what do you mean by RSI?
It is the relative strength index, right? So it goes from 0 to 100, and all it does is track price action, right? So if the RSI is going up, then price action goes up, right? There are a few times that happened where all of a sudden the RSI is doing something different than the price, because they're supposed to follow each other. Price goes up, RSI goes up, right? Price goes down, RSI goes down. What'll happen is you'll start to see what we call divergences, right? On very high time frame divergences is where we kind of get our tops and our bottoms. I'm more of a trader, so as you zoom in on smaller time frames, the divergences kind of play out more and more, right? And so that's kind of what we've been tracking. And it could either be the RSI, right, which is 0 to 100, right, where when we're at the bottom and we're kind of close to 0, it's the most that we're oversold, right? And when we're towards 100, it's the most that we're overbought. Now, what's funny about that is that when you're overbought, right, that means that the most amount of people are buying, which is actually bad, right? When we're overbought, you should actually be profit taking. It's the same thing that we talk about. Everything's inverted, right? You should be happy when the market's melting down. That's when you want to buy. When the market is rallying and pumping very hard, you should be looking to take profit, right? That is the ethos. So it's the same thing with the RSI. When we're overbought, that's when the most people are buying, but you should be taking profit. And then when we're oversold, it means the most amount of people are panic selling, like when we're down at these lower levels, but that's actually the best time to buy, right? That's the best way to kind of describe the RSI. All you have to do is just realize that it goes from 0 to 100 and it tracks price action, right? Your stochastic RSI, which is this middle thing right here with the two colors, right? This is basically just momentum. It just cycles through. It goes up and down, and it's showing you momentum, right? When the red line is on top and we're going down, that means that momentum is coming out of the market, or money's liquidity is coming out of the market, and price actually is like bearish, right? When this thing goes up and the green line's on top, that means momentum or liquidity is entering the market. Now, as an investor, you want to stick to a very high time frame, like a weekly or a 2-week, because those things don't, like the momentum might pivot between the high and the low maybe once a year, right? Or twice a year. But you could also kind of zoom in, and that's how I've been able to call more accurate price action. That's been a little bit shorter, but that's basically, like in a nutshell, what the RSI and the stochastic RSI, right? 0 to 100. And this is going to cycle through, right? Once it gets to the top, it's going to cross down, it's going to go down. And then once it, gets across up, it's going to go up. So it just kind of cycles through, right? Whereas the RSI is kind of following more of price action, if that makes sense.
Got it.
So Gonzo, where's Bitcoin going to? When we're rich. When are we rich?
Right? When are y'all rich? So what's going to happen?
Right. So lately I've been, I learned these two new fib levels. It's called the 0.31, then -236. I won't go into detail because we don't have tons of time, but the 0.31 has been kind of a very—
We got an hour left.
Yeah, it's been a very powerful.
The RSI explanation took about 20 minutes. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. It's been a very powerful level, right? Where price action gets attracted to like a magnet. So when we had this big correction that came down, where this was our all-time high, and we came down and we made 60K, right? When I measured that—
Can you kind of say the dates of some of those things?
Yeah. So this was back in January, right? Our all-time high, hold on, let me zoom this out a little bit. I'll put this on the weekly. Actually, we'll put it on the daily, right? So our all-time high came in last October, right? We talked about that on I think 2 podcasts ago, where I did a call on October 18th, and I said that the bull run was probably over. Why? Because we had broken structure, right? We were kind of making this uptrend, and you had to keep kind of holding these levels. And this little candle right here, we needed to hold this, right? This was the 10-10 liquidation event, but this candle right here was super important. We needed to hold this to keep continuing going up. And what happened? We broke structure, and that told me that it was probably over, right? And then that's how it played out. We rallied and came down. So this is our all-time high back in October, right? And then we had that big meltdown that happened back in February, at the beginning of February, while we were at the Freedom Conference, right? So price action's basically been in a downtrend. So when I measured this, right, and I got my 3-1 fib, it told me that at some point price action was going to get drawn like a magnet into this price level, right? And that's exactly what we did. As we chopped around, eventually we hit right into that 0.31 fib at 75K. And then we had a huge reaction to it, right? Because the way, like, again, I don't have tons of time, but the people in the Academy have heard this before. I believe that the markets are algorithmically programmed, right? To where the market starts to flow and starts to kind of understand where traders are going to put their stop losses, where they're going to put their entry points, right? And the market moves to follow liquidity to kind of take your money, right? Like the market is the most efficient machine I've ever seen of taking your money, right? So it is my opinion that between like the 3-1 fib and the -236 and what I call median lines, right? The algorithm is programmed to react to those levels, right? So the market moved all the way up back in March, right, to the 0.31 fib, and then it reacted, it rejected, right? People thought we were going higher, right? All the super cycle people came out of the woodwork at 75K, and what happened? The market melted down, right? And so what we've been waiting for since we had this reaction is we're probably going to get one more bounce. And if I take it off logarithmic, right? Because there's 2 ways to read a chart. There's logarithmic, where it kind of puts everything so you can see it and like it's not squished down, right? And then there's linear, right? And if you notice, when I take it off logarithmic, you can see that 0.31 fib moves, right? It moves to 80K. So that tells me that this is kind of unfinished business. It was the same thing that I saw that called the 72K, which when we were down here, there was a lot of liquidity that was left behind here at 72K, right? And the market loves to follow liquidity. So I told people in the academy, this is unfinished business right here. These candle wicks right here, we're going to come back to grab that. And that's how I knew that we were going to go to 72K. And that's exactly what happened. We came back, grabbed the liquidity, had a little bit of a pullback. But I believe with all the hype and all the kind of positivity that's coming into the market, our next level to get kind of price action kind of pull itself up to is 80K, right? It's that 3-1 fib that's going to get pulled into it. And then once we get here, I would really pay attention because there's two things that could happen. One, if we can hold 80K as support, then it's a very small possibility that this is the absolute low and we're just going to push higher and Bitcoin's going to start to push, right? Even higher, right? And I think it'll be based kind of on what the S&P 500 is. It's kind of about 3% away from its all-time high, but that's not my base case. But I have to keep an open mind. I think what's going to happen is if we get to 80K, it's going to push up, right? Everyone's going to come out of the woodwork saying that it's a super cycle, it's this, that, and the third, but we're going to reject, and then we're going to get the bigger drop, the one that we've been waiting for to break the 60K low. The other thing that's in confluence.
So, Gonzo, will that drop go below the 50? Will that go below what was the drop? The red
60K.
60K. So it'll go below 60K if that specifically happens. Okay.
I think so, right? If they push us all the way up
if
to
it doesn't,
80K,
I'm blaming you.
Yeah, you can blame me, right?
Back up
At
the
some
truck.
point, because as it's going to take, we're already pushing up to like 73, right? So let's say over here over the next few weeks, we can get into May and get us up to 80K. This wick that's over here, this is previous support where we bounced, and the market is very efficient. If this is previous support, we need to back test it as resistance. Another reason why I believe we're going to go to 80K, to back test that as resistance, and then you're going to get your drop, right? Now, I think we'll see how fast that drop happens, but we could come down and take out the 60K low. Where are we going to end up? I think we end up somewhere like in that 50K area, that 52K area, right?
What's interesting, so real
perspective, if the long term is on Bitcoin, we just keep buying Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Right. But if from a trading perspective, then you would make specific plays based
exactly.
off
Yeah. Like as an investor, like you could either, like I told people last time, if you don't have time to monitor markets, the best strategy is to have discipline and to just DCA on a schedule like JV does and like I do, right? Buy Bitcoin every Friday. And so that's the best thing to do because but it only works if you have discipline to do it long enough, right? So that you can buy the top. Like I started the DCA strategy over here. I understood that I was buying the top, right? I knew that, but I also knew that I was going to do this for the next forever, right? Like that buy will stay for as long as I'm alive, right? And so I bought my first Bitcoin buy at about 123. That average price on that weekly buy right now is at about 80K. So it's averaged itself down, right? So technically right now, when I looked at it, I'm only down 3%, right? Now, eventually this is going to go up and I think it's going to drop, but it's going to continue to buy every week. So as you continue to buy, as it drops, it just brings your average price lower and lower and lower, right? Now, if you have time to pay attention, or maybe you're a little bit more limited on capital where you don't have cash flow coming in where you can just buy every week, well, then what you do is you wait for these major corrections, these major crashes, or you wait for it to break that 60K low and get into that 50K area. And for me, that would be a good time, or at least what I'm doing is that DCA strategy that I'm doing every Friday, I will start to up that up. I will start buying even more. Right. And as it melts down and gets to that low, as we get towards October, which I believe will be 40K, I'll buy even more. Right. So as it gets lower, I'll do bigger buys and I'll just buy as much as I can as we create that bottom and then just kind of just DCA, but I'm just buying bigger chunks. So that average price is just going to drop more and more and more. Right. I'm just doing that with Bitcoin. People know I said this in the academy, Sol and Sui and XRP is my other ones. I'm just waiting for them to cool off a little bit more. I think XRP is going sub $1, right? I think Solana is going to go $40, $50, and Sui's going back to probably 50, 60 cents. So when this major low happens with Bitcoin and we lose it, I'll start my DCA strategy into those other altcoins and just start buying every Friday, like on a schedule, right? And I'll just continue that till we make the bottom.
From an astrological standpoint or from a trading standpoint, do you think that there would be anything that would cause it to go lower than $50,000 or for it to?
Private credit would cause it to go way lower.
Yeah.
So what I wanted,
from an economic standpoint.
Well, that's the thing, though. Those are all things in correlation. And so, what I really wanted to point out, though, we just heard the fun or the technical analysis side, right? Well, when you blend that with the astrological analysis side, this is what's going on. Is we have a new moon coming in Aries. We also have a parade of planets that are coming in Aries. What is Aries energy? Think of JV. JV's in Aries. Yeah, it's like, let's go. Let's get it started. Let's amp this up. So just like Gonzo was saying, right? He's saying from a technical analysis standpoint, we're going up to 80K. Also from an astrological standpoint, there is a lot of like, how many of you guys are just like, man, I can't sleep at night over these last couple days, or you've just been on fire, like I am ready to get my shit together. All these planets are coming into Aries, and that's the energy that we're all feeling is like, man, I've got to go. We have a new moon coming on the 17th. So we were texting this morning. Gonzo gave his technical analysis breakdown, and I was like, dude, I can totally see that from the astrological side, because we have these planets coming in. We have a new moon in Aries. Usually when you have a new moon, that's people ready to go out and invest, go and do. And then we have some unfavorable aspects coming in towards the end of the month. So that would include a conjunction between Mars and Saturn. Usually that's not a favorable thing, but also there's a Mercury squaring Jupiter. So those are unfavorable aspects, but I could see those kind of being the catalyst for what brings us back down. So just like Gonzo was saying, seeing a rise and then a really pull back down, that's what you can say from an astrological standpoint. We could get a rise, and then there's unfavorable stuff towards the end of the month that could really bring us down.
Hey, Jackie, what about the oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Here are your moon phases.
Oh, sorry. I thought I was saying something. So the 17th or the 19th is a new moon or a...
There's a new moon on the 17th, but the 19th is the Mars conjunct Saturn.
Yep, that's it.
That's the Mars conjunct Saturn, which if you think about those, so Mars rules Aries. Mars is the warrior planet, the fighter planet. Saturn is the I'm going to bring you down and really take you to the root of your core of like discipline and bringing you back, like law and things like that. So when those two come together, it's like imagine you're pushing the gas and the brake pedal at the same time in your car. Like you're just spinning wheels and you're not really moving forward, but it's a contentious time. It's like a lot of like, oh, I got to get this done, but you can't go.
Can't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, damn it.
He's like, it's coming.
Oh, gosh.
Here are your moon phases, though, Jackie.
Collective standpoint.
Yeah. So at XRP Las Vegas, I'm going to be like, no, I'll be past it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That'll be at the end of this month.
And by the way, we're all going to be at XRP. We're all going to be at XRP Las Vegas. Oh, sorry, I keep interrupting.
Sorry, CJV. Go finish your thought.
Yeah, I was just saying we're all going to be at XRP Las Vegas. So if you want to see our beautiful faces, we'll be there live.
And we should have a actual breakout space to be live set up in there, and then we'll be live from our Merlin booth as well. But are we going to have guests pop in live? Have guests come in and that maybe not probably from when we do it in front of like the breakout. Well, I guess we could work on that. I haven't given that. I hadn't thought about that. I was just trying to figure out how we would broadcast stream it from
trying to make it more difficult.
Show
yes, in there. That's awesome.
I'm sure everybody will be there. We could get Jake on there and ask him about the XRP price.
Probably don't want to do that.
Here we go. Yeah. Just real quick, I'm just going to wrap this up. Jeremy asked a question, can it go lower? Absolutely. Here's your what I call super fib. It's a 78688 fib. The 786 is at 39,300. The 886 is at 28,343. Every single bottom has been formed in between these two fib levels. In the earlier cycles, like 2011, 2014, we actually made it a little bit lower than the 886, but with diminishing losses, it's kind of ended up a little bit higher. And that's why I made the bet with Shelly. The 786 is at 39K. And then Jackie and I talked about if you get a 70% drop, which would be less than we dropped last time, right? I think, what did we drop last time? 78%. So let's say we drop 70%. That takes you to about 37K, right? So I think
Wow.
we're going to end up somewhere over here by when it's all said and done. And I believe that the bottom will come in October. And people say, you know what? Is it really that simple? And well, if everyone thinks that the bottom is going to come in October because of the 4-year cycle, then it won't happen. And a lot of times when everyone thinks something's going to happen, that's true. But what I counter to that is we also expected a Q4 top, right?
Yep.
And that's what we got. Everyone expected it. It happened.
So
right?
I agree
So-
with you, Gonzo. I agree with you, Gonzo, because also too, Uranus is going back into Gemini, and when Uranus pulled back into Taurus, and Uranus is a planet of all ruling like the crypto markets, right? It's very technological. It got pulled back into Taurus in a retrograde, and that's when we saw the pullback in the markets of the crypto markets. But it's going direct into Gemini, which is super fast, and like it's favorable in Gemini. That's its domicile. For Uranus, that's where it likes to stay. So I think it's going to happen sooner. I can totally agree with you on that side.
Nice.
Love it.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's
but
good
I
stuff.
got
You're
really
good.
excited.
That was it.
So the conclusion is 80K, and you think 80K, then we're going to start laddering back down
Yeah.
to $3.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm
Going
serious.
zero.
Dollar Bitcoin by the end of 20.
XRP is going to zero.
No.
Oh shit!
Come on, man. I'm buying a zero. Oh, somebody keeps asking about WFI. Would I highly recommend? Just so you guys know, I think I'm one of the most. I'm just gonna brag on myself. One of the most authentic influencers. I actually post my buys, guys. So it was collapsing, and I bought more. I bought 1,000 more of it this morning. So if you guys just go on my X, you'll see the full explanation from WFI on what happened and what is actually happening. So, and the response that I have on that is, imagine a world if I did my investment strategy off every bit of news.
Oh my god! It'd be
What do you think?
freaking-
Yeah,
would be
whatever
right?
you- yeah, all over the place.
So that's my lesson to everybody out there. I believe in WLFI and I'm buying it. It's my number 3 holding. I'm not saying you have to buy it, but if I made all my investment decisions based on news, yeah, I wouldn't be here right now.
I
I'll
think
tell
that
you
there's something important to say about integrity on the things that we not to prop us up, but on the things that we do in regards to it. If it's the thing that we believe in, or if there's a mistake, we go out there and say it. I sat down with an advisor the other day that's in one of my coaching, and I gave he does not own anything. He has a 7-figure portfolio. He doesn't own anything that has any tie or relation to BlackRock. And I like iShares ETFs, which are owned by BlackRock. And I gave him props for that because he's staying integral to what he believes. You don't necessarily have to believe with the thing that the person has the integrity about, but I think I think we should at least show that respect to people that have that integrity, that then go out and do the thing that they're doing. And that's one of the things that we try to teach in the academy is find out what it is that you believe in. And if that's the thing that you believe in, then go into that.
man. You gotta that's convictions of everything, man. It is
Conviction,
everything.
that's the word,
It's
good
like
word,
that's
yeah.
what saved me when the SEC sued Ripple. It was and I was really early in this, man. And I thought I was like, man, and we didn't have as much wisdom as we have now, right? So it was we were in the following the Simpsons and the 589, all that shit. But that hit, and there was just something in me that was something doesn't feel right. I'm gonna hold on to this. It just and that was the first bout with conviction and maturity for me as an investor. I was and I went all in. I did the complete opposite, and that's when I kind of built my legs underneath me. And it's WFI is my number 3 holding. I'm not going to hold that back from people. I'm not saying you have to invest in it, but I really, really believe that WLFI is going to be something big. And I have just to be very clear, we've never been paid to promote a crypto ever. We're very proud of that in our community. We've never been paid to promote a crypto. Only paid partnership we have is iTrust Capital because we use them. We actually use iTrust Capital. Everything else we own, and we've really prided ourselves on that in our community is whatever we talk about, we actually own or we actually use, right? And the only one we have is iTrust Capital. And I think that's an important part of it because a lot of you, somebody asked in here, and I'm not picking on it, but you asked a question, said, I sold out of my WFI today. Was I too reactionary? Yes. If that's, you are too reactionary because if you go, it dropped. Yeah. Well, there was a FUD news and they explained what it is. So the news was, they did something with it's right here. It's all right here. Let's talk about the FUD going on around WFI markets lending position. it's wrong, and they explain the whole thing. And if you really logically, oh, that makes sense. If you read through the whole thing, it actually makes sense what they did.
It's no different
So-
than what happened with XRP.
Same
when
thing.
the SEC came after them, and
Those
they
are the best times to buy. Those are absolutely the best time. When those
100%.
negative news come out and they devastate price is absolutely the best time to buy. But you only get pushed to buy if you have actual conviction,
Well,
right?
And the other
'Cause it
thing
pushes you.
that you guys mentioned was that you would like you read what was actually happening and thought about it, like, okay, that makes sense. You know, I'm going to stay into this position, or I'm going to add more to this position. And that's the thing that in my opinion, one of the things that makes the Academy so strong is for the fact that we're trying to teach you guys to do your own research based off of the things that we're doing. We're sharing you with our research and what we're doing. Here's what we're doing. See if that makes sense for you, and then go and do it.
And basically that
Stick
means
to it.
if you sold based on one piece of negative news, and you're basically just reacting out of obviously emotion, but that ultimately means you don't really understand it. You're probably expecting Coach JV to say something, right, on what he feels about that investment before you make your decision. And obviously, like I talked to a lot of people as well that when I asked them, like, you guys are going to know this as coaches, one of the questions is, how do you research the crypto that you've bought thus far? And a lot of the times the answer is watching Coach JV or watching some content creator. And that is a valid form of research, but ultimately you have to make up your own decision in your own mind around what you're invested in. Because I tell everybody, listen, the things I'm invested in, I sleep well at night because I understand them. If something happens substantial, I'm going to make a financial decision on whether I want to keep holding it. But if something minor happens, like with the SEC, I literally dumped my entire savings onto Kraken to buy XRP on January 2021. And in hindsight, it was one of the best decisions I ever made. So if I went with the crowd, I wouldn't have gotten the opportunity to accumulate XRP at those prices. So it's so important to just follow your own discernment and your own research.
Yeah,
That's super
That's
powerful.
why I
Bonnie
still
put in here-
promote Veto Army, guys. I'm still in it. I'm
Huge.
still in it. I forgot to wear my cap today. I'm sorry. I curled my hair.
I don't know if you guys know, May got extremely wealthy off the Veto Army. The Veto Army.
Dude, she
Gang,
did. I
gang.
made her
Remember
laugh.
that story?
Yeah, Veto Army,
We
Veto
were
Vikings.
we were in California. We have to tell that really fast, because God, we went out to eat, and then you described it. You were like, "Yeah, some of these people like they have 1 million plus coins, and they're like, oh my God, look at me, I have 1 million coins." And I was like, oh my God, that's me with Veto. I don't remember how you said it, but we were like poking fun at people, and I was like, oh my God, he described me.
Yeah, because it's like price bias, right? Like people have this idea, they don't look at market cap and they go, well, this is fractions of a cent. It happened a lot with Shiba Inu, right? Everyone thought they were going to become millionaires off Shiba Inu because they kept saying, okay, it's fractions of a cent. If it goes to just 1 cent,
I
I'll be a
know.
millionaire, right? But it's all about market cap. And that's why like price bias is a thing, right? Like you really need to, like, you could put whatever amount of money in, and it's just based on your average price, right? But I will say shout out to Jackie, because when May reached out about selling, like I was like conservative. I was like, well, just take profit on half and you keep half. And Jackie's like, sell it all,
Dude,
right?
and it's
And look what happened.
because
The
I
price
do,
melted down right after,
right.
right?
It's it's so powerful. I'm so grateful, honestly. Like the position we're in as being coaches here in the Academy, all of us, it gives you an extra lens. It really does. Like you can see people's reactions almost as mirrors right in front of you. And when you see that, and then you kind of revert back in your mind of like, oh man, that was me 4 years ago, but you're seeing it play out right in front of you, right? It's like, now I know what to tell you. Sell, take the profit, or don't sell it. Like it right now, it's just FUD, it's fear.
Well,
but
that's why community is extremely
That's
important.
why.
I'll share with you guys. Like I was open with you guys. I consolidated out of like 17 cryptos, I think it was, into my top 4, which is XRP, Bitcoin, Solana, and WFI. I still have my VeChain. I got to be in the same gang with HBAR, and I got to be in May's gang, or she'll kick me out. So I got to be in the VeChain gang. But my point is, when I was selling them, I actually called Jackie and I was like, Jackie, do you think I should sell this one? She's like, JB, effing sell it. Sell it. She's like, hit the button, sell it. It's like, what's the point? Like you're talking, you have 1,000 here, 1,000 there, like sell it, get out of it. And since I've consolidated, everything. It just feels so much
Clarity
better.
of mind.
Clarity of mind. I know exactly what I'm investing in. I'm very clear on it. I'm focused on 4 cryptos right now. That's it: XRP, Bitcoin, Solana, WFI. And to admit, based on my Warren Buffett style strategy, WFI doesn't fit that model. It's logic and conviction, just like XRP. It's the same logic. That's a logical, convicted investment that I have based on the macroeconomic picture and what I think is happening behind the scenes, right? Based on my feeling, my gut, my sacral, right? So
there's also though data on that and a lot of research, JV, when it comes to portfolios, and this is from like asset management, that over 50% of somebody's portfolio success deals with volume in what it is. And it was like 20% was actually the direction. And so for a lot of people, like I know I get this question a lot because there's some people who think, oh, well, if I only have 10,000 of XRP, I should be a millionaire, right? And it's like, no one can guarantee that. No one can guarantee that. So basically what we're saying to you guys is have the conviction of what it is that you are in. If you don't have that conviction, or if you don't know your truth, then that's your number one curriculum. And then whatever the projects that you are focusing on, even if it's like silver right now or real estate right now, it's like, go all in, stay committed with that thing. And then you need volume, right? So it's like Warren Buffett's dividends, right? What does he make, like $1 million or something?
$1 million a day off Coca-Cola. 1 million.
But it's getting 4% on the year. So do you know how much volume that is?
Right. It's kind of what we were talking about earlier today too, in reverse, with CJV was drawing out you have someone who has $10 million, they put, $1 million or 10% into something versus 100,000 of something. And they have 10% in it and they lose just, they only have $9,000 left if they had 10,000. The person that had the larger amount is in the better position, right? Because that's a volume situation, right? Because you have more money in the situation. So you have a lot of volume, and a lot of volume over time at the 4%, it's millions of dollars or whatever the case is.
Right.
We're all like this excited.
That big deep of breath in when someone's about to talk.
My turn.
I was just about to say really quick. That's exactly why the cash value life insurance is part of our strategy, guys. It's not about the return in that. It's the protection to the downside and the leverage. That's its perk. That's its perk. Don't let your crypto be your perk.
Preservation.
Your growth asset.
Yeah.
That's your growth asset. That's what I want to talk about. The on our Warrior Ascension call, the young lady asked a great question. It was like, so she was like, well, where should I go with my risk right now? I was like, in the beginning, I was hyper focused to get my liquidity. Once I got the liquidity, then I was able to take a larger risk outside. So now that I have larger liquidity, I'm in high risk, high return dividends. But that 10%, if it collapses, it doesn't collapse me in May's ecosystem, right? So I can easily de-risk. But if somebody with less volume takes that risk and they're living off of it, it's a totally different model. So it's like, the way I help people understand, it's like, okay, Warren Buffett, like so for everybody in the chat, well, I guess it'd be too long to rhetorical, but what is 10% of $10,000? What's 10%? 1,000. What is 10% of 100,000?
10,000.
Right. What's 10% of $1 million?
Do 10% of 100.
Right. So what's
10% but do 10% of $100.
$10.
Yeah. So it's like,
yes, $10.
Yes. So it's all about.
Wait, let's do one more. Let's test. No,
10% of $1. But it's the volume, like we're talking about. It is the absolute volume. So now that I have more volume, I can take larger risk in certain areas because I can de-risk. Does that make sense? So like, so maybe somebody listening to this right now, you may just be like, okay, maybe you're just in, say you love XRP. Just sit tight, be patient, build your little bit of cash flow on the side and wait till your liquidity event, then feed the ecosystem, get your cash value life insurance set up along the way. Then you have the bucket to fill. It's like, I think that's the biggest thing is what I saw was from my old self, coaching my old self, is I had 27 cryptos for what? 100 here, 500 here, 1,000 here. It's like, okay, like Jackie's like, okay, say it 10X's. You 10X $1,000. What do you have? It's like, but if you put that into something that could, it's just volume. That's what I want to put.
Yeah.
No,
And
that's
compound
great.
interest always wins. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think
Yep.
people need to realize that for expectations. There's a really good book everybody should read. It's called Expectation Hangover, because failed expectation causes like the biggest mood swings within every human. Because think of, you think you're going to maybe get this big juicy paycheck, and then it's like, oh, it's only this, right? Or, oh my God, XRP is not $1,000 anymore. I mean, people are throwing their retirement away. So I think that people need to realize that compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world for a reason, right? That has been around forever. Okay. And then look at numbers and compounding. The exact example that JV just gave, 10%. Like that's amazing. Like that's juicy. Like why is it that when crypto goes up 10%, nobody's happy, but
Nobody cares.
but the traditional stock market's like, oh,
That's
like-
a collapse.
If you get 12% in your
yes.
stock market, it's amazing.
yeah.
And then
Yeah.
12%
Oh, yeah.
in crypto, no one gives a shit.
That's something
Right.
important to talk about, May, because it's like
Mhm.
the crypto has done that to people. And admittedly,
Yeah.
I was that guy from 2020, and I admit it. I've gained with wisdom because I studied Ray Dalio, Kathy Woods, Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger, God rest his soul. I'm studying billionaires. Like I'm studying how they move. I'm reading their biographies. It's like, where was I going with this? I totally lost my train of thought. What were we talking about?
We were talking about
Compound interest.
compound interest.
Compound interest.
Yeah, with crypto, because crypto makes
Oh,
it seem like,
yes.
oh,
Yeah.
I'm only going to be happy when I have 100% return. It's like,
Percentage
what are you
percentage
talking
of
about?
increases, right? The percentage of
Yeah.
increases. It's like, so when all of a sudden, like you're expecting something to 1,000x because all the influencers are saying it over and over and over again, you're literally missing all the opportunity to actually build and grow and build cash flow and do all these things. And that's why our Warrior Academy and our warriors are so calm in the bear market. We win in the bear market. That's when we win. Okay.
Yeah.
We get anxiety in the bull market, right? And you can see the sentiment change in the cryptocurrency ecosystems, and everybody, they change their content. Some, crypto influencers are doing food shit now. It's wild.
Yeah.
It's like they're doing food content, but I don't know. That's another story.
Mhm.
And fighting each other.
Fighting each other,
Yeah.
arguing back and forth.
It's the greatest opportunity.
Talking about, wasn't there like
chaos
fighting
is
where
the
they go and
greatest
they do physical?
Oh,
the
yeah,
fighting.
the fighting.
Remember all the fighting last year? Like,
That one chick, I
That
was like,
was
oh my
crazy.
God, I would never do that as a woman. Like, I wouldn't want anybody to like mess this up, man. Like, I don't know.
too
I
privileged.
don't know about that.
You know what's the problem with the compounding and looking at it when you're looking at it on those percentages? What I find the most is that people get analysis paralysis and then they never start.
That's
So
it.
like
Mhm.
we know
Wow.
that we can at least get 10% of our money, but it's not exciting when you only have $1,000 to start. Because again, we went through those examples. What's 10% of 1,000? What's 10% of 10,000? But
Mhm.
it all comes down to that long-term mindset and staying consistent and knowing what your goal is. And like
Yep.
Gonzo just spent a bunch of time giving his thoughts on technical analysis and where prices could be. And again, I was looking at the chat and a lot of people were like, I'm going to wait until we get to 30,000 for Bitcoin. Then I'll buy some.
Mhm.
And it's like, it's the same thing as you waiting for $200,000 Bitcoin to sell.
Yep.
You
Mhm.
have to just take action
Yep.
and know and take what's there now. And shout out to Gonzo that gave me a really good idea to create this DCA calculator inside of my app, the XRP Investor, where if you were to invest $100 into XRP per week, $100 per week into XRP for the last 3 years, you would have accumulated 25,000. It would be worth right now 25,000. You'd have 18,000, almost 19,000 XRP. You would be at 25,000 and you would have a profit of 10,000. Considering you spent 2025 buying the highs.
Wow.
What was that? Yeah.
Yeah.
What
And it
was
was
that
probably
amount?
higher. It was probably way
Consistency
higher,
over
and it's just been
time.
dropping.
Consistency.
Always
Yeah.
It's
Like
just
maintenance.
consistency.
Mario,
It's
where,
100%.
where can people see your XRP invest? Is it xrpinvestor.com or xrpinvestor.io or
No, it's the
neither of those
XRP,
things?
the xrpinvestor.com.
xrpinvestor.com.
Yeah. The XRP Investor. There's a free account you can create. You have access to a bunch of stuff, and then there's also like a paid if you want more premium
That's cool.
premium stuff. Yep.
That was very eye-opening. And I remember
was.
when Mario and I had the talk, and I'm like, dude, we have this DCA calculator for Bitcoin, and it kind of changes your perspective. I'm like, dude, you should do an XRP calculator. So once he did it, and I brought it on the call before, and I've done it, but it really opens up your eyes, and you see kind of where, like, if you would have just started buying like $100 a week or whatever, like how much it would have grown. Like it's probably down right now because XRP's down, but at some point, I'm sure that portfolio is worth a lot more. And that's where you kind of take a little bit of profit. What you guys were talking about earlier about like the expectations and how, you know, crypto has kind of warped our reality. But Mario and I were having this conversation where it's like, dude, what more do you want? Like Solana went to $8 and then ran up to $300.
Jesus.
It's a huge move. Like, what do you want?
In
Like,
the,
what do you, I mean,
in the
like,
world of investing,
yeah,
that
right?
is
That's-
ridiculous.
Not normal. That's not
Yeah.
normal.
Correct. That's the point. Yeah.
If you
Well,
look
that
at XRP, right? If you were getting it at 35 cents, we went to 360. You 10x. Like what?
Yes.
What do you want, dude? It's a 10x. Where else are you going to get a 10x? If you had $1,000, you had $10,000. If you did $10,000, you had
And
100.
that's short of a
100,000,
period
you had
of
a million. Like,
time.
what do you want, right?
Yeah, well, that's what I get all the time. I say, JV, I've been following you for years, and Win the Moon. I'm like, what are you talking about, Win Moon? If you've been following me for years, we were buying it maybe 50 cents, or I was buying it 17 cents. Dollar cost average, I think 38 cents across the time. It
Yep.
shot up to $3 and 40 cents when Trump got elected. What did it shoot up to?
It was
Around
close
there.
to 4.
Three-
It was
Yeah,
insane.
it's
I'm
really-
like,
It was right before our. It was very close to our first
Yeah.
target for the foundation.
I'm
So it
like,
had
what
to
do you
go-
mean, Moon? I'm like,
Yeah, I'm like,
that's, and I
gone
get
from
it.
nothing to
I
an
get it over
outrageous
time.
number in a short period of time, even though it
Yeah.
was 5 years or whatever it took, or 4 years.
I guess what we're trying to say is that we're trying to help people stabilize their mindset through this. You can do very, very. I built wealth off of crypto. We built wealth off of it. We did. But imagine in 5 years, I've done what it had taken me my whole life, way more. Actually, in 3 years, I probably did in 3 years what it would take in my whole career as an executive. So that's how powerful the next 3 years are for all of you guys, because you guys are coming in a bear market, which is awesome. It's going to start laddering down. And this is probably the most critical time. We lose Gonzo. I miss.
I think we might have.
He had to go.
Yeah, I have to go, guys.
Oh, love
But
you.
love
Love
you guys.
you.
I'll see you guys next
Love you.
Friday. I can say the whole time.
All right, thank
Love
you
you,
for.
G. Thank you.
Thank you. Should we answer
Bye.
some questions?
Yeah, let's
Is
do
there
it.
any questions?
And I do want to put in
just
here, I've
curious.
seen a lot of stuff in the chat that talks about people may not having a lot of money to invest. I keep trying to tell people that's what the great thing about cryptocurrency is. You can put in like $1 or $2 or $5, right? And even if you want to get in the stock market, over the last 10 years, lots of brokerage houses have fractional shares that only take $5 to invest in a stock. So you don't have to have the entire price of one stock to be inside of it. So to Mario's point, you just have to start the movement of it, and you'll be able to look back on it and see everything that's grown.
Mhm.
I know a lot of people may not have $100 to invest a week. I get that. But like I see so many videos of people literally going to Goodwill, buying couches for like $50, cleaning them. That's all they do. They just clean them
Mhm.
and they sell them for $300. If you could
That's
do
what I
one of
do.
those a week, that's $200 profit you'll make. That's $200 you can throw at the market a week.
Dude, if you did that once a month, that's still $200 that you put
That's
into
an
a
important awareness though that people need to have right now is this bull run is or this next bear market is extremely
Critical.
important.
Critical.
Extremely important to
Yep.
be laser focused
Yep.
to accumulate.
Again,
And
last night.
This is like the
What?
last one.
Yep. So there was a knock on my door yesterday, and this happened in our old neighborhood. These two young kids. This kid answered, he's like, "Hey, sir," and I'm like, "What's going on?" And he had this little pitch. He had the sales pitch, and I should have brought the flyer with me. They're cleaning trash cans, man, going around our neighborhood. He was like, "Hey, do you mind?" So he's come into my house today. He said, "Don't worry, we'll go in your backyard. We'll get them $50 for 3 trash." How long is it going to take them to spray out my trash cans?
He's gonna go
Yeah.
find your cold wallet.
It's
Yeah.
like, oh, it's
Someone
on
could come to my
15
house. and do
minutes.
the same thing and
But
be
my
like,
yeah, 15 minutes maybe.
Mhm.
The
Yeah.
$50, 15 minutes, two brothers. They're gonna. I said, hell yeah, of course I'm gonna tip the hell out of them, right? Because I think
Yeah.
that's so cool. But people like that's what Mario said. That's I followed that Gary Vay flip strategy. I was like, this can't work. And when we lost everything in 2020 when they shut us down, I went got a couch. I borrowed my dad's truck, got a couch. Got it for free off Facebook Marketplace. I cleaned it up, sold it for $100, and I bought $100 worth of XRP. Then I flipped a vacuum. I made $10, and then I started doing like I was cleaning. I would go to older neighborhoods, like older people's neighborhood, and I would volunteer to clean their yard. I had a lot of time on my hands with COVID, and I would clean up the yards, and they'd tip me. And I just kept putting it in XRP. I kept putting it in XRP, and it's like
so smart.
there's money. I was driving Uber too, which that was.
But
miserable.
the trick is
Did
I
it?
want to reiterate real quick that it's discipline, because what
Yes.
ends up happening when people make new amounts of money, they're like, oh, well, I've always wanted this thing, so they go and get that thing rather than putting their money into the XRP or into stock or into an ETF. That's the biggest trick. I have a client or a coaching person. They're making $25,000 a month off of a bot that they put about $250,000 into. And I was like, okay, well then why haven't you paid off this debt that's only like 50 grand or whatever? He's like, oh, well, we have this money coming in now. We want to buy nice things. And I'm all, that's the problem that people have. You have this opportunity to clear that out.
That's major opportunity cost right now.
Yep.
Major
Opportunity
opportunity
that
cost.
people get stuck in their heads about, and they need to get over that.
That's
Yeah,
why
this
I
is-
said in the chat, comfort is the enemy of compounding.
Yeah,
Yep.
this is like you got to get uncomfortable right now, guys. Like that's why I keep saying, get disciplined, get your shit together, get physically, spiritually aligned, get a second job. Couples, sit down and do a budget. Well, that's one thing we see. I would say 99% of people I meet with for coaching don't have a budget. They have
That's the
no idea
easiest-
what's going in.
That's the first step.
So when Mario said, most people don't have I think they do. I think most people do have $100. I could literally go through someone's debit card transactions, be like, you're going to Starbucks, you're buying energy drinks, eat beans and rice for 6 months, man. Do it. Buckle down, sell a car. And I've met some clients that come on board like, we listened, we sold our car and we budgeted and now we have $30,000. We paid off our debt. And I'm like,
That's
it just takes that. But once you do that though, you got to be disciplined with it.
Mhm.
Because on the other side, it's freedom. It's freedom. Once you get all your debt paid off and you're asset heavy, and then you start building the cash flow, that's the king. Cash flow is king, guys. You want to, and that's, I'm going to say the statement because I hear a lot of people out there promoting, never sell your crypto or never sell your assets, borrow against your assets. You better know what the hell you're doing if you're going to do that. Like you just hear it all the time. Never sell, borrow against your assets. Well, what are people doing? What do they do when they borrow against their asset? What are they buying?
Stuff.
Crap.
Stuff. Yeah. Most people aren't going to buy assets that are going to appreciate. They're not going to buy cash flow,
No.
right? The only reason we ever, and we told it a million times a story, we have zero leverage on our assets, by the way, on our digital assets, because we don't believe in it during these times. But we borrowed our Bitcoin to buy our firm. We paid it off within 6 months, guys? It was like 4 to 6 months. We paid it off as
6
quick
months.
as possible. And we're like, and we only did 25% leverage of our overall portfolio. Pull profits, guys, pull profits. Don't be married to these assets. Pull profits. Get it insured, get it into something that's principal protected, learn how to leverage on the right side. I'm telling you, it will change your life. We had one of our Honor Warrior Ascension. It was so cute. I don't want to call her clients' names out, but it was so cute to her. She got her first, she's been on every call and I won't say her name because it's private, right? But she was like, she got her IUL policy. She's like,
Oh,
she did
I
her
love
first,
her.
she's doing her capital DR. She's like, I just did my first leverage. And she's like,
Yep.
You
Yeah.
know what's crazy about
Yeah.
her?
Mhm.
She came in, she was a lead way back when we were with the old IMO.
Mhm.
And I had called her on a phone call
Oh, no way.
and she was not a part of the academy. And I said, I think you should join the academy.
Mm.
She's been here ever since.
Every
and
call
now
too, right?
every
Yep,
call
yep,
she's
yep.
been on. And now
Crushing
she's
it.
got her full Capel DR system set up. And like JV said on the call today, she's
So
like, I
cute.
just took my loan. And I was like,
She's
that's
like-
my girl.
Yeah, and you know what she said too? Like Mayo Priya, she goes, I feel safe. What did she say? Did she work safe? She said, I feel
Mhm.
secure. I feel
Secure or
stable.
something along those lines.
Yeah,
Confident.
confident.
She said, I feel confident.
Confident.
And
That's what it was.
that's what it is. That's what you need.
Yep.
Yeah, because think of the river without the riverbanks.
Mm.
It's not possible.
It would
Right.
flood.
I love the water analogy, because if we did not have the banks of the river, okay, that's our masculine, that's our structure. Your feminine flow, which is currency, your digital currency, your real estate, your dividends, that would it would be chaos. It would flood. It wouldn't serve you anything. It would cause more devastation. So that's the beauty of Capital DR. That's the beauty of cash value life insurance, is because you can leverage that. You are creating those rails and those boundaries so that you can expand in a safe way.
So most of our banking system comes from Italy, like the concept of it. And so the tellers used to set up, or the banks, before they were called banks, they used to set up next to the riverbank, and they would do the trading as the people passed by on the river. And that's where the term
Cool
supposedly
Oh,
was.
I love that.
stuff.
Mm.
I love
I love
learning
that.
words.
Yeah. Well, I know I've had some clients this last week in regards to cash value life insurance. And one was kind of like, oh, well, I don't know if I want to start this. Again, they're starting with $500 a month, which is enough, guys. Okay. Because compound interest loves time. And he was like, I don't know, like, it doesn't seem like this helps me right now. And I was like, but did Warren Buffett say that 5 years ago when he just got started with, you know, I don't know, a certain asset? Like, no. Okay. It's compound interest over time. It's building, it's taking the one step forward, one step at a time, you know, leads you up the steps. So, you know, people just procrastinate too much, and there's all these excuses, and your excuses is what's going to get you nowhere.
Think about Warren Buffett. How many, I think he had 3 50% drawdowns or 5. I think he said 5 or 3 50% drawdowns in his portfolio.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, he just sat there.
He just holds it
He just
out.
holds it out. He's like,
Yeah.
because he's disciplined, consistent. He's like, I believe in my assets, and they bought more. And they became out of it way wealthier, and they kept compounding. It's all about systems, process, structure, discipline.
But he
consistency.
also takes profits and holds
ta-
heavy on the sidelines
it.
when he knows
Yeah.
a big credit issue is there.
yeah, he's sitting in cash, baby.
Heavy in cash right now.
The other thing too about that though is the confidence thing, is because also the other thing, the reason why people may not start is because they feel like they're going to lose money or something's going to happen. But it's just like if you're training for anything. Like CJV was a bodybuilder. You weren't good at bodybuilding when you first started. Like you had to do it every day, get better at it, start doing it more and more, and then it becomes easier, and you start becoming more confident in what you're doing. And it's the same thing for investing.
Everything. Yep. What do you
Mhm.
mean, lost bodybuilder? I still am.
Nope.
I'm just joking.
But
You can
also,
do a show. Do a
confidence-
show.
can I say this though really fast? Her confidence comes in the fact that A, she made her own decisions.
Mhm.
B, she created structure, right? And because of that structure, she doesn't have to think and like worry about things. It's just follow the plan.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's
That's it.
exactly right.
So
That's exactly right, May. It is. She says that all the time on calls too. She's like, "I'm just doing what you guys are saying," and
It's
she's following the
Hey,
plan.
I want to give a shout out to CJV too, because when we started these businesses, we would find someone and we would just do the thing that they say. And now whenever we have like someone that's helping us, like Kyle from We Root Marketing is one of the marketing team that we utilize or partner with. And from him, like he'll say something, and I just say, okay, that sounds like a good idea for the most part. I'm going to try to follow it and see how it works, because he's shown the success with it. And like if you can just follow the plans of the structure on the things that you hear and you stay consistent with it, you're successful.
Yeah, you don't adjust the plan. It's something that I remember when we're our first 6-figure business. We went through Alex Hormozi's program and on Gym Launch, right? On our gym side, we still own our gym. And so the plan worked and we exploded. And then guess what I started doing? I started changing the plan. I hadn't mastered it yet. I'm like, I got this. I started changing the plan and just fell apart, right? And it was like, why are you changing the plan? I hadn't mastered. Once you master something, then you start bringing your own essence to it. But until you've mastered the plan, just keep going. And once you master it, it'll organically start to evolve, right? That's how we created Capital DR. We didn't know it was going to be Capital DR.
No.
We just plagiarized from Robert Kiyosaki, Ray Dalio, you know, all these people, from Cycles to all these people. And then we built our own system. We're like, okay, we brought a little essence from each: divine masculine, divine feminine, my human design, all these different things. And we invented Capital DR. And like, that's ours. And we're still mastering it too. Like we're still going through the process. Like, so I think it's important. Mastery is really important. But how do you get to mastery?
repetition.
Repetition.
Through scraping your knees.
Scraping your knees. Yes. Repetition. Yep. Repetition is the mother of skill, man.
Doing the same thing over and over and over. And if you are a generator type, you will hit a plateau where you don't feel like you are moving and you will want to quit. And that is the signal that the universe is like,
all the time.
you're still learning, little one. You're still learning, little one. But that's when people quit and they rob themselves of their blessings.
Yeah,
I went through the last 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 8 weeks. I've been so frustrated. It's just been through a couple months now. It's just been like this plateau. I'm like, and I'm ready to break through that. But
We never went to questions though, because I interrupted.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about something. I don't know. Dee, do we have any good questions?
I don't think.
There's
Yes,
a
we
bunch
do.
of starred
perfect.
ones. Yeah.
Yes, we do. 7 Law says, I'm interested in asking all of your opinions on the following. Was Bitcoin created intentionally to drain the wealth of freedom lovers in the name of decentralization?
Great question.
Jeez, we ask ourselves that all the time.
Yeah, that's a question. Yeah, I'll share my thoughts and what delayed me so long to getting into Bitcoin. Because I was following the narrative, the FUD that the CIA created it, blah, blah, blah. And I was all just XRP army, and XRP was my only thing, blah, blah, blah. And then Larry Fink launches a Bitcoin IBIT ETF, and I see him say that he was wrong. And I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. And then I look at his top 3 holding in Strategy B, and I'm like, but you had exposure to Strategy B. You never changed I look, they didn't change their position. So you believed Bitcoin was a fraud, but you saw Michael Saylor say, we're going all in on Bitcoin, but you held your position. That's weird. And I was like, oh my God, I think we're being played. And then I tied it back to 2009, BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. We don't know who Satoshi is. Then you look at that time, the top 4 were BlackRock, Strategy B, Michael Saylor, Grayscale, and America were the top 4 holders. Then China. So the top 2 superpowers.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, shit, did we get played? And then my other, and I'll pick it up for you guys, is the Bitcoin conferences were all anti-government, anti all decentralization. Then we were there in 2024, and I was like, I pictured something completely different. We're there, and everybody's cheering for these politicians on stage. I'm like, aren't we anti-government? I'm super confused right now. So I'm like, wait a minute. I think because I was getting made fun of because we're in the banker token, which is XRP. So which one is it, right? So I don't know. I don't know the answer. I think that somebody might have created it to save the system. I don't know.
This brings me like right back to like the Strait of Hormuz right now, where you have these 2-tiered systems, right? And China holds all the gold, and the US has a huge amount of Bitcoin, but the Strait just changed to accept Bitcoin for oil. So it's like it kind of goes back to the very beginning when you asked that question. So are they on the same team, or is Trump just bringing in?
Okay, let's go deeper in that. So is it you can't? Okay, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Is it you can't beat them, so join them. So if you can't beat them, join them and control the supply. So now we control the supply. America has, well, if you look at America, Grayscale, BlackRock,
right?
Trump Media is he's the largest billionaire that holds Bitcoin. So they're like, we can't beat whatever this is. So let's control the supply.
That, or I know this. So these are like the questions I have. Or are they trying to entice America for the trade to gather more Bitcoin for themselves as well?
Is who? Iran,
right? Because that's the toll is Bitcoin in yuan.
I see. Okay, let's start getting some supply. Let's start. Damn, man. And here's the thing of what this conversation, as you can see, we spend our lives studying this.
Yeah.
Okay. And I will tell you, the guys, if any influencer says they have insight, their insight is ChatGPT and Google. They don't have insight, guys. There's nobody telling influencers they're lying. They're lying to you. Yeah.
Pull back the curtain.
Pull back the curtain. It's like there's nobody coming to a YouTuber or a TikToker going, or that they are and paying them. They're telling them something to lead people the wrong way. Right. So they might
because they're telling them to pay them to lead them into the thing that they're wanting them to do.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like, so these are the type of conversations we should have, like, for example, when the Epstein files came out and everybody's like, the Bitcoin and blah. I'm like, oh my God, he was so ingrained in Palantir, and you should probably get rid of all your investments, because I'm sure he was a financier. He was manipulating and blackmailing all these people in finance, right? So I'm like, I don't make my decisions like that, right? It's like it's a really hard thing. So I don't know, man. I don't know if you can't beat them, join them, or they created it and we all got played. Because I do think that we thought we were running to decentralization as they were building the infrastructure. I do believe
that flipped for sure, because everyone who got into crypto in the beginning were like hardcore freedom, sovereign people. Yeah. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh wait, this is the new system. And I just put myself right into it.
You pull back the curtain though, and it's Trump, China, and Putin, and they're eating steak dinner together. You know,
there you go.
Wagyu steak.
They actually like each other. They're like,
that's kind of what I think. That's kind of what I think.
I the reason why I think, okay, so we own a lot of companies, right? Now, when we make big decisions are made well before it's ever brought to the public.
Right.
Unless you tell something to CJB and he gets excited about it.
Yeah.
And then he brings it right
I have gotten better. I've gotten so much better. But yeah, that's true. But we there's big decisions we have to make, right? So we know well before the public does, right? So do people really authentically think that all of a sudden it's like a flip of like, oh, they just made this decision this weekend. No, it's like it's planned out. You know, situation like Rosie Rios said, you need a shock to the system to change consumer behaviors. Then the pandemic hit, and that changed all of our consumer behaviors, especially around finances.
Yeah,
there's a great book. I think it's Borrowed from Your Grandparents, and it's a story of generational wealth companies for family governance. And in the story, I think it's in this book, if not it's in another family governance book. Point is that there is a family out there that he didn't name that's $1 billion family, maybe even, well, probably not showing, but $1 billion family. And in their family laws, right, that they've set up as a family, you can never have so many of the family living in a specific country. And then the people in those countries have to go and create businesses. And so I try to think of like everything that's happening in the world in some regard like that, is that this is a family that's literally has their family members only allowed so many of each of their family in the family. It's a very large $1 billion family, so that they can have larger businesses and larger connections to political things inside of those countries. And so when I think about what's happening, these things are planned well far in advance, or like in advance of the things that are happening, right? So do I think that Trump and them like were a part of the Bitcoin? No, but what it is they started seeing something 10, 15 years ago, and then they started, how can we put this into a place that benefits ourselves and benefits the people that are around us as if they were a family? That's what I think happens.
Yeah, because right. Their family is like, hey, we're getting debanked. Okay, that's a real thing. So like, let's create our own system.
Yep.
So they go to Steve Witkoff, the Witkoff boys with the Trump boys. They sit back. What have we done? We've come up with solutions and business ideas, right?
Yeah, we do the same exact
thing
thing
of our own.
Well, that's an interesting perspective, because I feel like that actually is probably that's totally the theory of what could be going on, is like all of these major world leaders are like, oh shit, well, we got to come up with something because everything's crumbling.
Everything's
down.
crumbling.
You try this, I'll try this. You try that, you know?
Or they're like, holy shit, they created this.
It's every man for themselves right now.
or they're like, whoever created Bitcoin, they're like, oh my, this person's a genius. Yeah. So let's control the supply. Let's get in there. Yep. Let's get it. We have the liquidity. Yeah. Let's print a shit load of money. Get it all. Let's lower interest rates. Let's print a shit. Let's devalue the shit out of their currency. Tell them to not buy it.
Yeah.
And now we own it. Now it's like, oh my God, it's the best thing ever. And then now financial advisors are going to become, hey, the very financial advisor that fudded you out of is going to be like, hey, you should put 1-2% in your portfolio.
You're exactly right on that, JV, too, because the euro dollar, and we're going to dive deeper into that, guys. The euro dollar, the backing of that is full faith and trust. That's it. Nothing else.
There's nothing
else behind that.
Is that the same with the US dollar, though, too?
Yeah.
That should have been backed by gold, but I mean, kind of, now it is. Like,
it's just a free floating. It's just a like that's why I made a comment earlier about foreign exchange being speculative. The dollar is just a speculative thing now.
So that goes back to the esoteric, though. Like, really, truly, it all comes from belief. Like, that's like the core. If you can get enough of the masses to believe in one thing, then that's all of a sudden the holy grail of like what the world runs on. Right. You know,
which goes back to pulling the curtain.
Yep.
Believing 100% in you. You are made in the image, therefore you are.
Yes, and when we start to try to take our sovereignty back, they panic us. It's like, well, no. Like that's what my whole book is coming at. That's what the whole thing's about. Story tells you all the way.
You blew it. You gave it away.
I just blew it.
No,
away.
I'm just kidding.
But it's coming. It's coming.
Well,
he said he's gotten better. He just blew it.
I was talking about a new when I was in the studio and testing everything and did it through my show Mercury. I was talking that we were launching a new podcast, and then a bunch of people reach out to me after that. I was like, oh, what new podcast are you talking about? Because John's been talking about the new Wealth Transfer podcast for weeks on the YouTube channel, and I was trying to keep it like under wraps.
Funny.
At least you guys know how to keep secrets. So
that's good. That's good.
Good. Yeah. So we got about 10 minutes, 12 minutes. Should we answer a couple more questions?
Yes.
Sure.
That was a great question. You
was
derailed
good.
us completely.
Yeah. So if they're wanting to, you have to have Bitcoin to buy oil. Come on, guys. That's a smoke signal.
Yeah. Well, they're trading.
Bitcoin is going to zero.
No, Bitcoin's not going to zero. It's crazy.
No,
man.
Bitcoin's not going to go to
Like
zero.
why? Like when people just guys stop. Like people just stop with that, man. It's like it's like why go on your Fidelity. Anybody has Fidelity, pop up Fidelity. You can buy Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, and Solana. Do you think they just threw that up there as a whim, or do you think they do a little bit of research? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you guys met with the first insurance company that, or not first, but insurance company that's now, we're still researching, but that is now doing annuities with Bitcoin.
Yeah, there's a couple now.
Couple.
There's 2.
Yep.
There's 2 now.
Cool. Go ahead.
Yep.
All right. Next question is from EMVQ6QO. If I don't have a lot of money to invest, do I just buy crypto, or do I need to buy a dividend stock, or both?
I like the and strategy. It's always and, right? So if I had $100 and I had $100 outside of debts and non-negotiables, I would go 10% into dividend stocks, and I would go the rest into growth stocks. Pretty simple, right? So to me, it's and, it's not or, right? It's like you put 90 into your growth stocks that will give you your liquidity in the future, and you put 10% in your dividend stocks, which creates the cash flow. Right? You always want to create cash flow with every time I get paid, outside of debts and non-negotiables, I put 10% in dividend stock. So think about this, guys. Every single week, I get a pay raise. Every week, I get wealthier. Every single week, I get a pay raise. So my paycheck goes up I want you to think of it that way. Even if it's $10 into a dividend stock and you make $1, you just got a pay raise.
Right.
So I'm crushing inflation through my growth stocks and my dividend stocks. So that's what I would do.
That's an important point really quick is Capel DR can be at any phase.
Yep.
Like you can do Capel DR at a low net worth, at a medium net worth, at a high net worth. It's just you might change the assets in whatever season you're in.
Yep. Capel DR curve, it's for everybody.
Next one.
Next one. All right. This one is coming from John Paul Garcia. I want to learn Cap DR. Do you have to be a seasoned investor to work with you guys in your system?
Nope. You just got to be a human being with willingness to learn, man. Yeah, that we invented it because we found that there's this nomenclature. I don't know if that's the right word. There's this that you have to be really wealthy to start investing, right? That they designed it that way. You have to be an accredited investor, and you have to do this, and you have to be able to walk in and meet with the person in the suit in 911 BMW, the old financial advisors, right? It's like you just have to have the ability to learn. That's it. And once you learn, if you can make $10, you can start the Capel DR system. So it's Capel DR. So it's cash flow, appreciating assets, protection, leverage, and de-risk. So you can have zero income and learn like a person in high school could learn how to do it. So our children are operating Capel DR. So.
All right. Next question comes from Creator Trey. If I'm understanding correctly, that would mean all monetary positions will narrow to a narrow range or point, then hit the divergence you're talking about. Is that right, May?
I don't know what that was. Probably a question in reference to when we were talking about something.
Dang it. I know. I'm like,
Divergence.
Maybe Gonzo, divergence?
All monetary. I think it
If
might have
I'm
been
understanding correctly, that would mean all monetary positions
Monetary
will
positions.
narrow to a narrow.
Here we go. Regarding the K-shaped graph. The K-shape. So would it all
Oh,
diverge?
that's
like
Jackie.
the K-shape?
Oh,
Jackie.
not a narrow point. No, it
Great
goes
question.
further and further and further out. So it's the legs
Spreads.
of the K. So it spreads. I know.
Right, but
guys,
he
I'm-
was saying, you know how the K starts at a point? Is he saying that it's going to go to a one point and then diverge out?
it starts at a point and diverges
Goes
out.
out. Like
Correct. Right. So
1971.
it's just
Correct.
using the
Yep.
Yep. So like,
Starts at a point,
yeah.
diverges out. Right now, the divergence right now is just growing and growing.
would an example be like 1971 detached from the gold standard, printing of money? So like,
Exactly.
I got it.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. In 1971, gold and dollar could have been equal equivalents, right? And then further and further as they printed money, dollar goes less in value and gold has been going up in value.
I love it. Did you hear this? D, they're saying they love your voice, man. I love it.
I love
Oh, you
that.
gotta get
Good radio voice.
ASMR stuff going on here.
Not to derail, but there's some chatter online that's stating that part of this war again is, not 100% true. Like it's fake in a way. And I'm not saying to like if there truly is death and this and that, like that's horrible. But a lot of people are stating that it doesn't really make sense because if it was a true war, then the price of gold would be skyrocketing right now, and it's really not.
That's a great point.
That's a good point, but actually I just came across something that talked about needing to sell off hard assets to be able to get quick cash to be able to purchase the resource of oil. And it all connects back to the euro dollar. But we'll bring more information about that. Let's talk about that, May,
love
later
that.
on our nerd sessions that we do over the weekend.
Let's do it. I love it.
I think maybe Trey had a follow-up question on that same topic, that he says, at that point, would that make 2029 the end of the cycle? Incidentally, that is the next presidency too.
Yeah, usually during presidential elections, the markets are bullish, right? It's cycles, so the 4-year cycle matches that, right?
Yeah, usually business cycle, 4-year cycle, electional cycle, they run it really close in tandem.
Simultaneously. And the next election's 2028 or 29? 2028.
Yeah,
Back end of
28.
28.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right. Back in the 28, which would start in 29.
It should
Right.
be nice.
Which we should also be like in the heat of a run too.
Right. Boom. Bitcoin halving, then
Yep,
gonna be
it's
juicy.
all coincide.
it's going to be
And
juicy.
then new president sends us to a bear market.
Yes.
Then repeat.
Repeat.
It totally is.
Love it.
Next.
All right. Next question is from Donnie Joseph. Jeremy, did my book make your bookshelf?
Ooh.
Call out. Call out.
No, because Donnie, I'm trying to read it
Send
before.
it to me. I'll read
I'm
it.
trying to read it before. No. It's on my table in the kitchen because I'm trying to find time to read it before I have you on the podcast so I can talk to you about
Donnie,
it.
send it to me. I'll read it.
Hey,
So it
Donnie,
hasn't made it to the bookshelf yet.
I read it. Well,
You
he's
read
he
it
helps,
already?
he's helping me with the project. Thank you, Donnie.
Let's go.
Gave us great resources. Thank you. He's a legend.
Yeah, Donnie's
Jeremy,
awesome.
you should feel horrible right now. No, I'm just kidding. I'm
I have
teasing.
horrible writing.
No,
No.
I said you should feel horrible right now.
No, I don't feel horrible right now. I am planning on reading it because I want to have him on the podcast.
Next question.
All
We
right.
love our community, guys.
All right. Next question comes from Don John.
Talk
What
about-
happened to Trump going into Fort Knox?
Damn.
Check
Funny
the
how
gold.
people forget.
I have a
things, huh?
lot to say about that. So that goes into my whole thing I've been talking about. Okay, so they
Mhm.
said they're going to go into Fort Knox. Scott Bessent said it too. We're going into Fort Knox. We're releasing the files. We're doing this, and it's like maybe they got in there like, oh shit, there's no gold.
It's gone.
Oh shit, it's gone. Oh shit, the dollar's collapsing. Oh shit, and they're like, oh, yeah, or I don't know.
You know what's so interesting about that just popped into my head? About France.
Yeah,
So this is the thing, right? They sold their US gold and said that they bought back in, but they're the reason why, so that was complete paper trade. They didn't need the settlement,
right,
right? So what if there wasn't really anything in there?
Mm-hmm.
Like they didn't have that.
But why
in
did
there.
we detach the gold standard? It didn't have to do with France. France came over to get their physical gold.
Oh my
yes,
gosh.
yes.
this
Somebody
is wild.
on the chat researched. So France came over to get their physical gold, and they were like, they came on boats and like, we're getting our gold, and US is like, oh shit, we don't have the gold. And so I think that's how it started. Don't quote me on that.
This
So
is
it's like,
nuts.
yeah, it
We
started.
gotta research
it
that,
had to
guys.
do with France, and so it's a cycle where France is like,
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know, man.
That's pretty wild. Oh, I'm excited.
Don't
I gotta
know.
do some.
My
research.
money is changing into energy.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
It's yeah. Well, that's an important spiritual point. It's
Mhm.
like it is shifting from centralized into cooperation, energetic
Mhm.
value,
Mhm.
exchange of energy. Are you actually valuable to the marketplace? Mutual value exchange, things like that. It's not just this like you have more than me. It's like, do you add value to the ecosystem?
That's exactly right.
So
Yeah.
great question, man.
All right. While we're here, John also asked, Coach, what do you think about the future of XR? What do you think the future of XRP will be in the world?
I think it's going to play a huge role. I don't think it's an or, I think it's an and, right? The way I always explain it to people is I have an iPhone. Some people have a Samsung, right? So it's not an or, it's not XRP is going to run everything through the system like I thought in the beginning. It's an and strategy. I think that I look at the company Ripple. I know if I own XRP, I don't own Ripple, but I look at the company Ripple and how dominant they are in regards to the acquisitions they've had, the way they run their company, how liquid they are. So I think if I was running banks, as Jeremy and I, I went to banking school. He was my tutor through that. So if I'm running a bank and Ripple comes walking in, I think I'm going to use their technology. I mean, they got their shit together. They have the backing. They have the liquidity. They're going to be around for a long time. And I do think that they're ahead of their time in regards to technology. So I think XRP is going to be a huge catalyst for the liquidity crisis that we have in the world. And I don't think it's an or strategy. I don't think they're going to run everything. I think it's and. I think they're going to be a big part of liquidity. So, and I banked a lot of money on it. So
we got our fingers crossed.
God bless America.
I think one more.
All right.
Should we do? Oh yeah, it's 1 minute left.
1 minute left.
Then we'll go round table.
All right. Nutero AI asks, you guys talk about stocks, or is this mainly a crypto fireside chat?
Great question. We're getting there. We're heading towards it. So we're starting to branch out. We started as a big crypto company, and we've really lack of a better term, we've matured our portfolios. We're not just a crypto company. We focus on family banking concept, insurance. We're heading more into stocks. And like I think Gonzo says it the best, he's like, there's a bull market everywhere. And so, yes, we got wealthy off digital assets. And so now we're starting to kind of look further out into the stocks. We're going to be bringing more things up like stocks and precious metal, rare earth minerals, things like that based on market cycles. So yes, we will be bringing more to you guys. So awesome. Should we wrap it up? We'll go around the room here. So I'll head over to, we'll start with May. Just a little, didn't mean to put you on the spot, but we'll do a little, let the people know what's up.
All right, letting the people know what's up. Just reminder, guys, again, there's always going to be a loud voice in the room that is trying to talk you out of who you are. And this is the best time. Again, like, we talked about pulling the curtain back. Do that on your life, because you have the power inside you. You really do. You are made in the image. You have the power. You don't need to be controlled, but you should be discovering who you are. And this is the best time. I think this is the best year to hit the reset button when it comes to personal development, when it comes to really focusing on what matters most in your life, and just realize the things that they are trying to fear you out of are probably the things that you should be running towards. So
awesome. Love it. Let's go over to Jeremy.
Yeah. I just encourage everybody to take the first step. That's one of the things that I talk, to the clients that I coach, is that, they need to make sure that they are starting to their investments at whatever amount that they're able to start at, and then going from there. Because if you don't start, you can't move forward and you can't build. And then I just, encourage everybody to, in anything that you're doing in life, make sure that you're reflecting on it, because when you do the reflection on it, you can see exactly how far you've come in what you're doing. Right. And so, it might be like, oh, you've only been investing in something for a year, but if you look at where you started from the year ago, you can realize, oh, wow, I've actually there's been a lot of growth in that. So I just encourage everybody to take the first step, and to do your own research.
I love it. Mario.
I'll say the power is in the now. So your 2028, 2029, 2030 self will thank you for starting now. If all you have is $10, start now at $10 and just slowly and methodical build it. Remember, not everything starts big. Most things start small. If we look at the biggest companies today, chances are they started very little. Apple with Steve Jobs, he started off of his garage, and look at Apple today. So just think long-term. And don't think yesterday, don't think about tomorrow, just think about what you can do today. If we have a $65,000 to $70,000 Bitcoin, well, what is that compared to what it's going to be 5 years from now? In 21, we had $69,000 Bitcoin, then we came down to 15 in the bear market, and it went all the way up to 125. So what are the chances that now we're in 65 to 70,000, and then in a few years it's going to go up to 200, whatever the number ends up being? But the reality is, these assets that we talk about here and that are available out there, they tend to go up in value, and they're not going anywhere. So just start today.
Love it. Jackie.
Yeah, I just want to say, I'm just super grateful, guys. I'm grateful, obviously, for the community that we have at the 3T Warrior Academy, but I want to say that I'm just super grateful to be a part of this team. So I think just my message is be extremely aware of who you surround yourself with, the environment you're in. And I'll just end with that. I'm very grateful for you guys, and I'm grateful for, you guys kind of being with us here on the podcast as well.
Yeah, I'll second that. I'm very grateful for this team, grateful for our community as well. And I saw a comment in there, so I'm going to do the same, share with you. I always say, what you believe in your heart, you think in your mind, will eventually become your words and become your reality. If you can see it in your mind, eventually you can hold it right here in your hands. What you and only you repeatedly do gets ingrained in your subconscious mind. What gets ingrained in your subconscious mind becomes an unconscious activity. I want to explain that because it's so important to understand your reticular activating system. Like, you have to be very, very careful who you surround yourself with, what you listen to, what you embody, like what is on your social media feed, what does your algorithm look like? Because that is feeding your reticular activating system. Your reticular activating system is a sophisticated GPS guiding you to where you want to go. We said we're going to be millionaires. I said we're going to be multimillionaires, and I said we will be billionaires. It's not we will be billionaires, we already are. So my reticular activating system has to give me confirmation and conviction that's true. Hence the New Wealth Transfer podcast. Hence our financial firm. Hence the largest financial literacy company in the world. Hence everything that's happening here. So what's happening is my reticular activating system is filtering out all of the noise, okay, to give me what I believe. And that's really, really important. So if you take anything from this, is conviction is everything. What you're experiencing today is the power, like what Mario just said, it's the power of now from yesterday, right? A lot of you may be experiencing like, oh, my portfolio, I lost a bunch. It's because you have to mature through that. It's a cycle that keeps getting presented to you over and over until you change the pattern, okay? So as we come on this New Wealth Transfer podcast, we want you to take this information, go out and go deep into research, right? Put the blinders on, find out who you truly want to be, and reverse engineer it to the activities you need to do, as Mario said, in the now. So just want to leave you with this. We're just so grateful and thankful for giving us this opportunity and giving us this platform. And so I am going to pray us out, and I'm just going to do what I do best. And I'm just going to pray us out because God is good all the time. So dear Father God, we thank you so much for this podcast. We thank you so much for this platform. We thank you so much for all this technology, allowing us to reach people all over the world. We do ask God for wisdom. We ask for every single word that comes out of our mouth, every single thing that we put out into our social media, our businesses, is all for the greater good of humanity. We ask that every single person on this podcast has a ripple effect on the community, and we thank you for the protection, the armor of God, and we know that with you, we win 100% of the time. As we always say, in Jesus Christ's name, amen. Warriors, rise. Get your shit together. Love you guys.